Hello, Culture Matters Podcast. We are back again with another 30 days of thoughts. Pick up your book, read to think, write to develop. You can write right inside of the book. We are at page 102, 3, 4, right inside of the book. Film your video like I'm doing today. Don't forget to film your video. The purpose of this book is self-awareness, clarity, strategy, thinking, energy, enthusiasm. If you're not on social media as a creator and you're just consuming, you're just absorbed in other people's narratives, then I'm sorry to tell you that you're just adding to theirs, or in this case, mine. Meaning, if you listen to every damn episode of the Culture Matters podcast and you're not putting out your own energy into the world and developing your own platform of creation and sharing of ideas and thoughts and energy, then man, well, it's selfishly, you just help you're yeah, you could live vicariously through our success. Sure, I guess there's definitely some level of my selfish gene that just wants you to listen to this all day long and never leave your house and just live vicariously through our success. But if I'm listening to my conscience, like that doesn't seem fair to you. What ironic? What's the irony of I think it would be ironic if you just listen to this all day long and don't do anything with it. Now, at some point, we could say, well, we don't know when you're going to do something with it. Maybe you're just in a season of learning, a season of school, a season of self-education. Maybe you're going to do just learn for years and years and years and years. And then eventually, when you're ready, you're going to, like Zarathustra, leave the cave, uh, go down to the people and tell everybody what's going on, um, or leave the mountain, what have you. I think I got that confused, the allegory of the cave. The point is, today we're in 30 days of thought, and the purpose of the book is to really become your book so that you have a platform. But the interesting thing about this thought today, just over broke, I'm not going to read it. I want to tell you about it. Get the book, read the thought. Just over broke is about just over broke job. And in a few short minutes, I want to change the narrative that I have once felt dogmatically and I see online a lot and around entrepreneurs, especially, that talk about with existing businesses, interestingly enough, the downsides, and kind of harp on the idea of having a job, holding a job, being job worthy, job interested, meaning, that idea that if you have a job, you should feel bad for yourself. You should think bigger. You should be more. You could be more. You're never going to accomplish your goals, your desires, your dreams. All of that is bullshit. None of that is true. That's only a partial truth. Some people can't fathom the idea of holding a job. So, oftentimes that actually may be because they're not worthy of one. They're not responsible. They're not self-aware. They don't they don't work well with others. They're not, for whatever reason, have not been integrated by the community, or integrated into the community and developed personhood as it relates to the community. It's actually, a clear reflection of their inability to participate in the culture. And so, of course, the pendulum swings so far one way, where they're convincing you, they're convincing me, that they're convincing all of us we should feel shame and guilt for holding a job. But what is a job? A job is an opportunity to represent one's character, to show up and provide for one's family, to be compensated for what one knows or is perceived to know, for what one could be and could know uh, as they grow their track record, the results for the organization they're accountable to. They develop and create, value. They're a profitable hire versus a unprofitable hire. They're A job is a test, and it's an opportunity. It's a it's a pathway to take care of one's family. or to participate in society, to be a good citizen, to pay one's taxes, to participate indirectly in making sure that police show up when someone else is being attacked or threatened, or that some fire department shows up when someone else's house is on fire. Because the idea, right, is that when our house is on fire, there will be resources that show up because of someone showing up to a job. Now, directly, the job of like the person showing up to put out the fire, but indirectly, all of the jobs, revenue is going to, at some degree, and this is, people argue about much and all that, but just in a very simple way, we're all participating in this society together, attempting to eat, to clothe ourselves, to shelter ourselves, to have enough food, and to feel worthy, whatever that means to each of us. A job can be amazing. A job can be the best thing that ever happened for you. A job can mean that your kids are the ones that change the world, in the way that everyone accepts as changing the world, when in fact it might have just been you showing up to work that made sure that the button didn't or did work to win the war. That button, someone pressed the button to end World War II. So I, I if we're going to talk about Just Over Broke, which I'm not going to read today, I want you to read the book, like go through the book. I'd rather elaborate on it. How I saw it then is speaking to a very narrow view of a job, trying to convince myself what was likely necessary psychologically to go all in a business. There's a degree of delusion necessary to start something new. Fine. But the last thing I'm going to do, and I hope this example is the example you really hear, because be careful of the people that have businesses where people work for them and then they talk shit constantly about people that have jobs, because that is a sign of a disrespectful, disinterested, unaware, ignorant, naive, like toxic leader. Because how can you lead people and talk against their livelihood, the choice they've made to serve you? That is a sign of a tyrant, an unaware tyrant. And so that's bad. No, no bueno. It doesn't have to, I want to change the narrative here. It doesn't have to be an either or. We can have pride around holding a job and being a good citizen in that way. And we can have pride in starting a business and being self-employed, developing an organization. It doesn't have to be an either or. But online, I see constant videos saying to people how having a job is the worst thing since the worst thing, when in fact that person has employees showing up to work, laboring. It doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't. It doesn't make any sense. So ha having a job, being able to get a job, being able to keep a job, the opportunity that a job can bring to one's life, to one's family, to one's ability to mature and develop and become a constructive part of society is clearly important. And if you have a job, don't feel so. I hope you're not feeling like a loser every day when you're going to work. You have an opportunity to not only earn money, but earn everything one could earn from having a company. Respect from people that you work with, respect from people you don't. Make friends. Rule number 2 in Beyond Order. Imagine who you could be and work single-mindedly at that. Pretty sure that's the imagine who you could be. Rule number 1 is, yeah, do not denigrate social institutions and creative achievements. Yeah, imagine who you could be and aim single-mindedly at that. Rule number 7, work as hard as you possibly can on at least one thing. It's like if you do that with a job, Rule number 4, opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. Any one of these people spouting this partial truth online about how, being an entrepreneur is all things and they have employees is likely abdicated their leadership. They're not focused, they're not engaged. And if you're working for them, it's your opportunity to take their job as the manager of the business. Because if they're a founder, then they hold the title of CEO. Their job, they have a job and they work for shareholders. And if they don't have any shareholders, there's a private business, they work for the customers. Because if they stop working for the customers, they lose the customers and then they lose the money they think is theirs. So having a job, it can be amazing. Don't give up on yourself. Be proud. And yes, you can still pursue entrepreneurship. Pick up 30 Days of Thought, because this is what this book is about. It's about thinking outside of the box, even if your thoughts were once one thing and now they've evolved to another, just like mine have over the years. I disagree with most of what I wrote in the damn book because it's not my book. It's a process of your book, and it's a meditation to think and to question your assumptions. Please leave us a review in the Culture Matters podcast. Follow me at Jay Doran _ the Culture Man on Instagram, and I will see you next.